One of the most common problems in the TOEFL reading section is the clock. Students have trouble pacing themselves, that is, going the correct speed. So, first, how much time do you actually have? You have 60, 80, or 100 minutes, and that's all in one block. You can spend 40 minutes on one passage, for example. That's not a good idea, but it's possible. If you do that, then you have much less time for the other passages. It's not divided between passages. Now, you get 20 minutes per passage. Again, you could spend more or less time. But, altogether, if you have 3 reading passages, you'll have 60 minutes. If you have 4, you'll have 80 minutes. And if you have 5 passages, you'll have 100 minutes. Now, this is very rare, 5 passages. You don't usually see this. You can expect to have either 3 or 4, and it's possible you'll have 5, but unlikely. If you have 4 or 5 reading passages, then 1 or 2 of those passages is not scored. But you don't know which passage is unscored, so you have to try your best on all of them. Okay, so how do you keep track of time? Well, you'll want to check the clock regularly, of course. You should be looking at the clock several times for every passage, but that's at specific points. Don't look every few seconds. If you look at the clock 60 times, then there's a problem. Because you don't need to, and it just makes you nervous. Instead, look at the clock only at specific times. For example, if you're reading the passage first, then you might look at the clock after you read the passage, then again after question 7, and then again after the final question on the passage. And then you would do the same thing at the next passage. This way, you would actually only look at the clock a total of 9 or 12 or 15 times in one reading section. That's much better than looking at the clock again and again and again and again. It's better for your nerves, and it's enough to keep good pace. If you're reading the questions first, that is, going straight to the questions and not spending much time reading the passage before the questions, then you could try this. Checking the clock after question 4, after question 9, and after the final question. Again, your goal here is really to check the clock 3 times per reading passage. Okay. Now, here's a very important point. The TOEFL scores every question equally. Well, almost every question. There's one reading question that's different in every passage, and that's the final question. That question is worth more points. But the other questions, questions 1 through 12, or possibly through 13 or through 14, those questions are all equally important. So some really easy questions and some really difficult questions give you the same points. That means that you need to try every question. Don't skip the hard questions. Guess. And also, do the easy questions first. But for the first 2 or 4 passages, that is 2 if you have 3 total, and 4 if you have 5 total, and if you have 4 total, of course, you would do 3. Your first set of passages, you can answer every question in order. But for the final passage, do the fast questions first, the easy questions first. Save yourself time. So in the final passage, let's say, for example, you make a mistake and you only have 12 minutes to spend on the final passage. What should you do? Well, you shouldn't read the passage. You should go straight to the questions and first answer all of the vocabulary questions. Why vocabulary? Because they're fast. Now, this is only true if you have little time. If you have enough time, then use your normal strategy. Stay comfortable. If, though, you're running short on time, answer those vocabulary questions first, and the reference questions, the quick questions, and save the difficult, time-consuming questions for last. That way you get as many points as possible. You should always mark an answer, though. When I say skip, I mean mark a random answer, guess completely, and then go to the next question. You can come back to the guesses, come back to the random answers, and try them again after you've done the easy questions, the fast questions.